Hello guys, and welcome to an episode of the Reliant Regal restoration. I'm going to sort my hat first before I do anything else because it's going all squint. So, as you've seen, we've got the timber frame, which I just picked up yesterday. So, because that one's clamped down, I'll pick up a couple of bits to let you see. So this is all made from ash. It's the right stuff. It's what Reliant would have used. Just need to check something. We are rolling. As you've seen from the last video, I had a slight problem with the camera when I was doing the bone bug one. But anyway, here we've got the door post. This is the front passenger side. So it will be sitting like that. And this is the passenger side rear door post. It should be sitting like that. So there's a couple of bits I have to alter on these. So I've got a router set up there. And here's hoping, if everything goes to plan, we should just be able to alter this groove to suit the new part. So, without further ado, I'll give it a go. Slightly nerve-wracking, this. Mainly because I'm having to follow the curve that's there just now. So my router's not the best for visibility wise. We might have took that guard off just to get a better look. Because at the moment, I'm looking down into this guard here. I'll turn this off. And unfortunately, I can only see that guard there. I don't like taking safety bits off, but I think I'll have to in this case to get a better view of it, to be able to do this right. Because this has to be spot on. And if I had the ability to clamp it with something, I would. But that's not an option, unfortunately. So what I'll do is, I will try, well, I'll give it one more try before we stop this, because I'll have to stop the camera to go and look for the parts I need. That does work perfectly. That's the groove I need. So what I think I'll do is, I'll go and take that guard off so I can see it properly. I know it should be there, but I'll just have to improvise for this one. So we'll restart this in a wee minute. Right guys, we have got the router guard off. It's not very visible. Well, although it's clear, you can't see through it that well. So what I'm going to do is to protect my eyes, since that's important. Kind of need those to drive this Regal once it's finished. I'm going to get my goggles, which are somewhere up in this end of the shed. So the goggles, this would have been a good start to do this before I filmed, but now you get to see how it really happens. Oh, here we go, behind the scenes. So we've got the goggles here. I normally use these for sandblasting, because sandblasting's a messy, horrible job. I've got paint on them somehow. So I'll give these a quick clean. On with that. Now, although I've removed plastic there to put plastic here, I can now see through the router. So, in other words, that goes onto there. sit flat on the stick, pull the trigger. It's actually working quite well. So we'll just keep going. What I'll do is I'll clamp it at the other end so we can get right bent to there. Now I'll take this bit out just now as well, because it has to go. Right, that's one bit of timber, at least routed for it needs to be. There's a couple of little bits I think I need to alter. I'm going to double check them on the old one, because if that fits, it'll be brilliant. So the old bit of timber is here. So one bit I do need to alter is the dovetail hole, which is there. It has to be the same depth as the groove. So I'll do that just now, because that means I don't have to adjust the router. So it's a nice easy one, I hope. Let's go. And that's that. So I've still got a little bit to alter here, so that'll finish by hand, because it'll need to be cut and made to fit. Doesn't need much, but I'll use a saw to do that and a chisel. Nice, easy done. Then we'll see if it fits. But thankfully I can fit this up first to check it without having to do that top notch. Then I'll have to give this a sand just to clean up this edge. We'll see how it goes. So this will just be a picture, I think, of fitting this, and then when we finally fit it, you'll get to see the full version. So I'll go and check this now, and I'll bring you back when we do the next bit. So, as I'm sure you'll have seen, before I get into any of the timber work bits, between me routering out there and this part of the video, I'm totally different clothing, and the heater's on and it's dark. There's a very good reason for that. What I thought would be a day job, putting all the timber together, didn't turn out to be a day job. Basically, the timber at the moment is sat in position. There's a lot of shaping and bits and pieces to do. So, like so these bits, they've all to be shaped. I mean, that post needs to come up a little bit as well. So it's always important to check all this stuff. 275. I just thought I'd better check this just now in case I've got this wrong. Okay. Just slightly bigger there. There's an easier way to solve this issue though. And that is below this mountain of parts. is the windscreen, or the broken windscreen I should say. Which, as you can see, it's going to fit no problem. Well, that way around it should be. So I'm sure I cracked this windscreen when I was taking it out. Yeah, I did. Top corner. Yeah, that's it. So that's fine. I don't need to worry about the windscreen not fitting. Back to the point of this video though. Something tumbling down. I was wondering what it was. There's a bit of blue piping. Right, so the timber is in place. There's a lot of altering still to do to it. I think this possibly has to come higher up. That's what I was wanting to check the other side with. Now I'd say it needs to come up a little bit further. Or is it possibly has to come up a ½ inch. See, as much as I'd like this to just go straight away and get going tonight with this, if this timber is in the wrong place, then most of the blooming car will just not work right. So that's up to there. Which is possibly closer to where it needs to be. I've actually got some new clamps as well. I ordered some clamps to do this car, but I've got them fitted on the other side. So that's just onto there. It's a lot of making sure the things are in the right place before you get going. It's like this point. Looking across, I should be another, oh, how high is it to there? An inch, that is, and this is just over an inch. So if we go to this side, inch and a quarter. No, that's okay actually. By the looks of it, this just needs taking up a bit. So it looks like this might actually just slot in place. Take this off a second, well, down even a bit, just to try and get this timber in again. So that other side will need altered, this side won't, but I'm not going to worry about that bit just now. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to cause any problems at a later stage. So this sits roughly there. That's holding that in position. Then we've got a big bolt to go through here, right through and bolted through. Now, the big reason I haven't been filming this as much as I would have liked to have been is because I'm not amazingly great at timber work, so it's taken a lot of time for me to work out how to do what I need to do to this car. So, in other words, I'll probably stop this again in a little minute so I can go and concentrate on how to put this thing together. So if I don't put it together right, it's not going to look right. But anyway, I'll pause this just now so I can concentrate on how to do this. Since I'm not a joiner to trade, I'm a roofer. But this is a hobby stuff and this has to be good. So I'll bring you back once I do a bit more work to it, and there'll be some photos to let you see what's been going on. Hey guys, this is it's the fourth day at the Regal project. I'll have to check what there was what the last video, but doors are on, both of them, and most of the framing is now in place. So we've got on the driver's side, once this opens, we've got the A post, the A pillar, both in place, and if we look in here, the B post is in place. The floor is temporarily sat in place at this side. At the other side you can see it without me moving. The A pillar, A post and B post are all in place. Behind the dash is the dash piece of timber. And you can just see up in between the headline and an outer skin the top piece of timber. So I've still got bits to go in there at each side. Funnily enough, this looks like it's a bigger piece than what I had before, so I'm probably going to have to alter something for there. The dash is in just to make sure it's not lost its shape with sitting around, so that's all in place, making sure it fits. That's all I'm doing tonight, because the rest of it's starting to get messier kind of jobs, and I'm not dressed for the shed tonight. So, as you say, 3 days in, I also have to still lift, because these hinges aren't fully screwed on, I have to lift the hinge just ever so slightly, so that closes. We've also discovered, when this has been fitted, this bit's been butchered. So this should be out to here, right the way down there. So this is probably going to have to be built up. How easy that'll be to do, I'm not sure. It needs to be done. But apart from that, the Regal is slowly taking shape. And I might add, for this front end was quite soft before, you can't move it now. That pillar's in place. It's just solid. And then this still has to be fully nailed, the panelling on the outside. So yeah, progress. This will all be adding up into the final conclusion of this video. So, till another night, we'll add the next part on. This is more coming a video log of fitting the timber. It's quite a tricky job, but we'll get there. Right guys, that's I believe it's day 4 or 5 working on the Regal's timber frame. I know this video is a bit different. I would like to have done it all video in the work with it, but to be quite honest with you, and I hope you understand, I'm not that competent in wood that I can film it all in one go. And when I am working on it, I've not the intention to be doing the camera as well. But the good news is, tonight I've seen me put in the last 2 bits of framing. So now all the door framing's in, except from these 2. Because I think they need to be altered in shape, and I know how. Because I've looked at them and they need possibly curved to a gentle peak to nothing, so that they blend in with the door frame. So I'm going to mark them up, and they'll be cut to size. Again, they need slimmed down ever so slightly as well, so I'll have to do that. But I'll let you see what we've done. I like this app, I can flip the phone round. So here we go. A pillar, A post, both in place. Passenger side floor in place. Passenger rear floor is loose because I had to take this post out again to get the angle of it. There's where that 2 little curves go, and if you see what I mean, it's that way around, it should be. It sits like that. So I believe this curves from nothing, which is right, round, and should stop there. So I'm going to alter these shapes so that it works. And then also it needs trimmed down slightly, because if you can see there, it's actually wider than the post. So that needs to be done as well. as you can see up in there as well. The top of the door is in position. The bit behind the bit behind the dash is in position, as is the top piece of timber right across there. And it's exact same at the other side. It's just that I need to alter. So I'm going to mark up those tonight. And as soon as I get those marked up, it's the case of cut them to shape, thin them down, take everything to bits, glue it, screw it, and put it back in the car. Now, I will film that bit as doing the work, because I know it fits, so it should be quite smoothly to do. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this video log of working on the Regal's timber frame. It's definitely an experience I'm not keen to do again. As a roofer, I do work timber, well, working among timber now and again. But this very nice finished timber is incredibly tricky to do. But anyway, I better crack on and get the last few bits marked up so that I can head inside where it's nice and warm. But I guess tomorrow night, well no, might not be tomorrow night, I need to wait until the screws arrive, so as soon as our stainless steel screws arrive, I'll get going with this and we'll film the final part of this segment and make up the finished video hopefully. So we'll see how it goes.